My wife would be mad that I didn't clean up my studio before this, but
Says it's
she won't be watching.
That's what David always says.
Yeah.
When Delora ends up watching the whole thing.
Yeah. I might not even tell her I did it. Even know. One of the few secrets I keep from my wife.
Okay. There you go. All right. Looks like we should be live now. Let me make sure it's showing up on Facebook for me. Do.
Close these and gets rid of that glare.
UMC.
Get rid of a little bit of it.
There we are. We are live. People are watching us.
Crazy.
So yeah, awesome. And the audio is working. So yeah, sorry everybody. A few minutes late, but better late than never.
Right.
So once again, in lieu of the DNA show this week, while David's on vacation, last week we had Sam, and I wanted to be sure that we could get John Whitcomb on here as well. Of course, our worship leader here at St. Paul. And so basically every week when David and I talk, David's always trying to get to the bottom of who I am, John. And so basically he wants to learn more about me and those sorts of things. So what I'm doing these 2 weeks is, since I'm in charge, is basically I'm going to grill you. Well, I grilled Sam, and now I'm going to grill you and just ask you some pretty simple, but I guess deep questions a little bit. So for starters, I'll ask you the same one, I asked Sam, what's your faith journey been like? Did you grow up in the church? Did you come to know Jesus at a later age, or what was it?
No, I did. We were a long line of Methodists. Whitcomb family from England in the early 1600s. Methodists.
Yeah.
And had just kind of stayed the course, and grew up in church. We had a big family, had me and 4 older sisters, if you can imagine that.
Yeah.
And no, good, very good. Mom and dad, very good about Sunday school and just then continued that. Of course, as a lot of kids, young adults do, kind of fall away from it for a while. Mm-hmm. But that all important foundation was laid, and that development, that character development.
Yeah.
That on of Christ's personality. Mm-hmm. Hopefully us joining along with it. But just have been plugged in all my life, pretty much. Yeah. Plugged in more than others at times, but that's the walk of faith,
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. Was there, I was talking to Sam about this last week. Was there some sort of moment where it all really clicked for you, like where the faith actually became your own? Because I love hearing people, especially when they grew up into the church. There's always that point where it actually like snaps in for them. It's usually after they leave in the church for a while, like you mentioned.
Well, sorry, this chair has got to give me a little more back support. There we go. Our family life was pretty not normal. My dad was governor of the state of Indiana, and when I was 7 when he got elected, and man, when a kid needs his dad, it's from about 8 to 12.
Yeah.
And my dad was gone a lot. And although it was cool, we enjoyed the traveling. I loved getting to fly in the airplane and sit in the co-pilot seat a lot. That was cool. And, but it was hard. My political family life is not glamorous.
I believe it.
It's really not. It's pretty hard. But through it all, we maintained going to church, but we had and my mother and my dad both, but we had a housekeeper at our house, and she was a German lady named Anna Habeneck. And if I ever saw Christ modeled by another human being, she was it. I mean, I just wanted to be like her, you know. And things got rough, and my dad, God love him, and he would be okay with me talking about this, although they didn't talk about it then. You know, he suffered PTSD from the war, and things could get pretty rough around the house, you know. But about 12 or 13, I was beginning to feel that there had to be something else. Really I started just spending a lot of time in prayer, and really got beyond Sunday school, you know, beyond youth group, really just started digging in. And when I was saying my prayers one night, and I just sat up in my bed and I said, Jesus, you're mine. I mean, I want you, you know, I want you to come into my life. That's it. You know, I'm going to follow you no matter what. You know, and so that was kind of it. Nothing real glamorous.
You know, that's awesome though.
No big altar, you know, kind of thing. But but following that, you know, were epiphanal moments that are kind of like fireworks, and but it's always, you know, it's always that little time, that real quiet time, that you hear the most incredible things.
For sure. I mean, I think there's credence to the passage. Man, is it in Isaiah? I think it might be in Isaiah. I could be wrong, of God not being in the fire or in the wind or anything. Like he is in the quiet, and that's when God speaks. But yeah, for sure, that's awesome. I didn't know that your dad was governor. That's cool, man.
The illustrious Nixon administration.
Oh wow!
Way back in the day. So.
Wow, man, that's cool. And so, you know, obviously, you know, faith's not just the only big part of your life. Obviously, a huge other portion of your life is music. So how did you first get into music? How did it grab hold of you?
It just got into me. I don't know. I had my mom and dad won. My dad he loved music. He wanted to be a professional musician. And that was his thing. He would even like hop freight trains and go listen to big bands. You know, when they played in Indy, and he grew up in Jennings County in a real little bitty town called Hayden. And him and his buddy they loved it, and they were, by golly, they were going to play in the Guy Lombardo band, you know. That's what they loved, you know. And so mom and dad always playing music. Wake Up to Tony Bennett and Nelson Riddle and the Fiddler on the Roof and Mame and Hello Dolly and all that stuff. And then, of course, having 4 older sisters, you know, the music of the 60s and 70s, and there was always music in the house, just all the time. So I'd say my greatest musical influences were my sisters, my parents. Even though none of them, with the exception of my sister Shelley, played in an instrument. So
awesome, man. Awesome. And so then what ended up leading you down the path of sort of worship leadership? Like what led you to St. Paul, for example?
That's a good one. Again, nothing really complicated. Just I had been doing it since I was about, Terry and I got married in '96, and we decided that if our marriage was going to have the best shot, that we were going to make Christ the center, you know, of it. And so we really got serious about attending church with bringing a family together. And we just happened to be going to a church, a Vineyard up in Indy. And they had a really happening band. You know, once they found out I played a little guitar, you know, I just started doing that with them. And it's it's a little different being a worship leader as opposed to just a hired gun, so to speak, or somebody who shows up just part of a team.
Yeah.
I kind of miss those days.
Yeah.
But they here, learn these songs and show up and play them, and that was easy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just have been just St. Paul. Just decided wanted to try it, and St. Paul was first place that I did as far as being part of a staff goes, and
yeah. Well, good stuff, man. We are happy to have you here. At least I know. I can speak for myself. I'm happy you're here. So.
Depends on who you talk to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, or they. Yeah.
Oh, we love St. Paul and love David and Frank. We miss Frank, but Frank had his own unique thing, but David brings his own unique thing. So
yeah, for sure.
And it's fun to talk to Dave. We have our meetings every now and then. We end up talking about concerts we've been to and guitars. And then with about 5 minutes left in the meeting, we better talk about church then.
For sure. So I only have one more written here, and I should have said this at the beginning, but if someone's watching, they have a question for John, I'd be happy to share it with them if you want to type it out. But the last thing that I got is, I meant to ask this of Sam, but I didn't end up, I forgot about it. But is there anything like books or movies, shows, music, that's really been, I don't know, inspiring you these past few months, especially as we've been going through COVID and all that?
Yeah, I'm reading a book. Don't ask me to quote you the author's name.
Yeah. That's okay.
Got it. I was listening to Moody Radio one day.
Yeah.
And talking about a book out that was concerning worry and, that kind of thing. And, just, I go through little phases. I'm just, like everybody else, get concerned thinking about things, especially when you got family and now you have a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world kind of takes on a little different spin.
Yeah. When
you have kids and grandkids.
Gets a little scarier.
It is a little scarier. So it's don't ask me the title, but it's about trusting God and basically being able to sleep at night.
Yeah.
And I'm not usually a worrier, but what I am with this COVID thing more than anything is just frustrated.
Yeah.
Just frustrated. And I've been very fortunate. It hasn't really affected I have a painting business, and it really hasn't affected it that much. As a matter of fact, it's been really good right now. But man, I see these other people out of work, and then I see this like in parallel violence of these protesters of this others. I mean, it is kind of hot out there right now. It's just a little weird. It's weirder than anything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Right now. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you're working on an album right now, aren't you?
Just about done with it. Oh my gosh, it's actually a album of James Whitcomb Riley poems.
Yeah.
Set to music. And James loved God. He was a lot of his poems are very, very deep spiritually. Yeah. And it's kind of funny because he was a house painter too.
Uh-huh. And
then when he wasn't out doing his poetry, he played guitar in a medicine show. So
yeah.
I thought it'd be fun to do that. And since my wife is actually related to him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. James Whitcomb Riley, and you're just sharing all this with me now.
Isn't that weird? Yeah. He's named after a distant relative of the Whitcomb family. Yeah. And then when I'm dating Terry, we're talking about James Whitcomb Riley, and she says, well, I'm related to him. I said, you are? She goes, yeah. His sister married my great uncle.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, I don't know how deep it is. I'm pretty sure it's really far away, but somewhere down the family line, Emily says that she's actually related to Axl Rose. And so, I mean, she grew up in and all that. So, I mean.
Oh, man. That's amazing. Axl Rose. How about that? Another Indiana boy done good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But for sure, so the album is based off of a lot of Riley's poems. Do you have a favorite poem of James Whitcomb Riley?
Well, what I can really relate to right now is the old swimming hole, and it's kind of a melancholy thing. Just this guy going back to where he was a kid, and all these memories that come flooding back in, and knowing that, hey, those days are gone, and how great it was to have all those carefree days and fun times. But I like that one. And then another one that is on the album that I had never seen before. I was fortunate to receive a couple really nice couple. The entire his works last summer. So I've been steadily going through them. I got them about all done. I got about 4 books left. I found one called 2 Year Sentence. And it's about a guy who gets in a little trouble with the law, and then he comes back to his hometown and how everybody's shunning him and giving him a hard time. It's pretty deep, but his stuff is just fits so perfectly nice into today's, idioms. It's kind of interesting. So
yeah. For sure. Well, that's awesome, man. So is there anywhere online people can find some of your older stuff, some of your older music? Are you on Spotify or anything like that?
Yeah, I got. You can go to Spotify and type in John Dowd, D-O-U-D, John Dowd Whitcomb, and it's funny because my one Christian album that I've done, was done way before digital stuff. And this was on 2.5-inch tape.
Yeah.
And I don't have it digitized, and it's now not out anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's next on my list to get that done.
For sure.
But you can go there, or you can go, and there's an album on Spotify called Arabelle.
Yeah.
Kind of early jazz blues kind of album. And then on ReverbNation.com, you just type in John Whitcomb.
Yeah.
And there's everything. There are, let me take that back. There are a couple cuts from my Soul Check album, is the Christian album that I have. There are a couple cuts off of that, but then there's everything from that to country to some pseudo classical sounding to a song called Freeform Telecaster, which is just exactly what it sounds like.
So. For sure, man. Well, I'm definitely gonna check it all out, and I will let you know what I think. I'm just kidding. I know it's gonna be amazing. So
I hope you like it. We'll make people smile and forget about COVID for a while.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for taking time out of your day to do this with us.
Sure. Glad to do it.
We really appreciate it. So I don't see any extra questions here, but just like if anybody has any extra questions they want to type out or something, I'd be happy to bring them up to John at some point, and I'll let you know what he says. But
we need to have lunch so I can interview you. So.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Learn more about you.
I would love to. All right. So I'm going to end the stream, everybody. So it was nice to see everybody on Facebook.